Hey guys, Marsinghan here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle video. And so today we are going to do the team building guide for the Tech Vegito Blue and STR Rose EZA event that is going to be going on JP. Sometime within the next 12 hours, it should be set to begin if you're seeing this when it first goes up on the channel. Obviously, I know all the hype is on Global at the moment, but I always do these team building guides for you JP players out there. This is the new big thing that's coming out. Obviously, the early showcases of these units are out, and people certainly have their opinions on what these EZAs are like, but I obviously can't wait to see them actually in the game, used in a bunch of other events and all that kind of stuff. So this is one event for the both of them at the same time. You start off by fighting Rose for the first 15 stages, goes from the SSR to the TUR at stage 8. Then you fight Tech Vegito Blue from stage 16. Stage 23, it changes to the TUR, and then you fight him all the way on through to the end. So obviously, if you want to use this as one of the stages that you farm for Hercule statues for extra Zenny, once you get halfway through, you can add in a bunch more int units, and it's obviously less risky to use more physical units as well. So basically, typical 30-stage EZA, you'll get all the medals to EZA both of them, some orbs for STR and Tech, and you get 6 Kais for both. I think this is a recent update, because I'm pretty sure when they've done these before with 2 units, you only get 5 for both, which, to be fair, you only need 5, right, to get them from 10 to 15, but you are going to get 6, and you get 40 stones as well. So yeah, it seems here that for the last 10 stages, this is the stone rewards column. So the last 10 stages actually give 2 stones. So yeah, it would have been better if we had 2 separate Extreme Z battles, but this is a pretty decent way for this to work out. So the weakness category is Future Saga. And then the other thing to point out is once you get to stage 16, so basically when you start fighting Tech Vegito Blue, 80% damage reduction from all AGL units and Extreme STR. It only lists Extreme STR. Usually it would mean both, although this one does just specify just AGL. So Super STR units may still be viable. It's not 100% clear, but this seems to indicate that they will be. However, there aren't that many great ones, so I've listed a couple of honourable mentions for the end, but you don't have to use them. So, as always with my team building guides, I'm going to go through my top picks and honourable mentions from all the units in the Future Saga category. If you think there's any units that I missed out or should have talked about more, let me know down below in the comment section. And of course, if you do find this guide helpful at all, do hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So, going ahead and jumping straight in, obviously the best pick for the leader is going to be the shiny new Dokkan Fest LR, the Trunks and Vegeta Father-Son Gallic Gun. Obviously, they lead Future for 170 across the board, and then, of course, any characters that are in Battle of Fate get that extra 30% as well, which, of course, does include them. So, this is obviously going to be the best way to run the team, just having double leads if you have this unit. And then, regardless of whether you have them or not, they're going to be the best friend for you to bring. Obviously, make sure you bring a Bond of Parent and Child unit on the team, so you get the entrance animation for all the extra buffs. And then, of course, on this stage, if you are running a full Future Saga team, you're going to be able to use their active skill from the 3rd turn. So, quite far through the event, you're just going to be able to have this done on turn 3 by using their active skill. So, this should be pretty straightforward if you have this unit. But, of course, not everyone is going to have this unit. So, EZA Physical Future Gohan is probably the next best leader, right? Because he has 170 across the board and 3 key. He's very, very good. He's in contention for being one of the best EZA TURs. So, obviously, he's very, very good. He's got good defense and raises damage reduction as the fight goes on. He, of course, gets a lot of his attack and defense right from the start, as well as a medium chance to crit if you have a Future Saga Trunks on the same turn. But obviously this team provides a lot of options for you to be able to do that. So even early on, he's going to be able to tank against STR Rose pretty nicely. So he is the perfect leader if you don't have the new LR. And he'll be very effective in the event even if you do have them. He's still very good even if you don't have a Future Saga Trunks on the same turn, but ideally you want to have one just to obviously maximize his capability. So next up we have the Future Androids. Now they have the Future Saga as one of their leader skills, but they're like there's only them and some other, like, there's what, the free-to-play farmable ones that do have EZAs, and then the non-EZA future androids. And other than that, they don't really have a lot of really good link partners. So I don't know if I would include them on the team unless you really were aching for that last spot and you don't know who to put on there. Because obviously their active skill can be useful once you've taken out one of the enemies, because you can only use it right from the start if there's one enemy who's got 35% or more HP, or when there's 3 or more. So when there's 2 enemies, which I'm getting confused because you don't fight them both at the same time. So yeah, you can use their active skill straight away. So obviously if you have them, you can literally just ghost usher away the first turn of the enemy. And in the early stages, that means you're going to kill them before they even get a chance to hit you. So actually, they can be good to bring on the team, even if they're not really linking up with anybody, because you can literally just float them off, and then when they do first appear, whether it's turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, whatever, then you can just use their active skill, and that's going to help you secure the win. So even if you don't have a lot of good link partners, I actually probably would recommend bringing them on the team. I don't know why for a second then I got confused and thought you fought both of them at the same time. So they will actually be very, very good. So next up we have this AGL Black. I included him because he's new and he's a Future Saga category leader, who obviously is also a 40% support for Future Saga. He's pretty good defensively after he's supered, and if you let him build up those attacks, obviously you can try and let him get attacked by STR Rose early on, so he's got type advantage, builds up that passive, but he is an AGL unit, so obviously he's not going to be doing a lot of damage once you get to Vegito Blue, thanks to that damage reduction from AGL units. But he's a worthwhile choice if you don't have any other pick for a lead, and of course he is still giving the 40% support to everybody else, so it's going to make everyone else around him hit harder. So next up we have this Tech Trunks. He's getting a bit aged now, but he is a Future Saga lead for 170 HP attack and 130 defense. So if you really are missing any other option for a Future Saga lead, you could use him. I probably would use him over the AGL Goku Black as well, to be fair. So he could be a good stand-in leader. Otherwise, I don't know if I would even bring him on the team at all. But if you need a Trunks for the physical Future Gohan and you don't have any of the other ones, then obviously he can still be pretty good. So then we have the LR Rose Goku Black. He does have a Future Saga lead as well, 4 key and 130 to stats. Not the best leader skill, but obviously if you're missing any of the other options, then you can make it work by using him. He does greatly raise defense on both supers, so he's reasonably good defensively. Obviously if you are running one of the other Goku Black units, then he'll have a good link partner, but otherwise he could be a little bit left out on the team. He does at least have Super Saiyan, Fierce Battle, like he'll link up with a couple of the other units, Dismal Future. Some of the Trunkses and Gohans and stuff he'll link up with, but he won't be the best on the team if you don't have another Goku Black or Zamasu unit. So next up we have this Trunks that has his EZA, the Tech Trunks. He's really good. The rotation of him and Physical Future Gohan is really, really good. Because you're facing only one enemy, he does get a bit of extra attack and defense, so he's able to hit pretty hard and get very good defense, so he's just going to be good all throughout the stages of this event, so he's probably a top pick for the team. Plus, of course, it's a Trunks, so he's on Bond of Parent and Child, which fulfills all the requirements for the LR, so he's going to be looking very, very good as well. So next up we have the Int Future Gohan. So not as good as the physical one, but obviously he doesn't have his EZA yet. He can still be pretty good. He's going to give support to a lot of the Trunks units and the other Future Gohan. When you get to turn 4, if you get to turn 4, and you have another Trunks on the team, he will then transform. But with the power that this team has, especially with the fact that the LR, even if you're bringing them as a friend, right, the Vegeta and Trunks, have type advantage over the Goku at the Vegito at the end. I don't know if you'll even really go past like turn 3, even at like stage 30. I guess it'll be interesting to see. But yeah, this guy will be very good on the team. Next up we have Int Mai. Now Mai is quite an aged unit. Her defense is not that great these days. If you look at her passive, she gives 40% support to time travelers, but that's it. She doesn't have any of her own defense, so she's pretty outdated. I would put her on the team potentially once you get to the Vegito Blue stages, because then she's obviously going to be supporting a lot of the units on the team. And she does at least have type advantage. So in the later stages, she might still take a bunch of damage from a super attack, but normal attacks, she's not just going to get wiped off the board. She probably won't take double-digit damage, but she's not going to get absolutely destroyed. So she could be a worthwhile support unit to add in once you get to Vegito Blue. Next up, we have the physical Vegito Blue, who with his Easy A, he's obviously very good. He can fire off a bunch of supers, raising his defense, then get a load of counters, which potentially can all be crits. So he can put out quite a lot of damage. I think he's definitely a worthwhile unit to bring on the team. And depending on your RNG, obviously getting those additionals, getting crits on not only the supers but also the counters, he could tear through some of the stages of this. Obviously against Rose, he's going to have type disadvantage, but in those first 15 stages, it's not like Easy A's are super hard anyway, so he should still be pretty effective there. Next up, we have the physical Super Trunks. Obviously, you could bring the STR one as well, but as I said at the beginning, I'm not sure about Super STR units and how they're going to work. This guy's just got very solid stats. He'll link up okay with the other units. He fulfills, like, the Trunks part of, like, future Gohan passives and stuff, so he could be pretty useful. He's a good honorable mention. Next up, we have Gowasu and Zamasu. They're pretty aged now as well. They do have that built-in chance to dodge, 50%. If they don't dodge, they will potentially take quite a bit of damage. But they are providing all allies with 2 ki and 70% defense, which is really, really good. So they can be a worthwhile support unit as an honorable mention. Then we have the AGL Zamasu. So the only reason I put him on here, obviously AGL we already know will do reduced damage, but he's a pretty decent tank. He has that damage reduction. Obviously against Tech Vegito Blue, if you're eating a super on like stage 30 in slot 1, he is still going to take quite a bit of damage. But he's a unit that you could bring along to use in a defensive way if you are running like, you know, LR Goku Black or any of the other Goku Black or Zamasu units who would require a good linking partner. Then you could probably get away with using this guy. You just have to be careful in the last few stages. Then we have the Int Goku Black. So of course he's a bit of a meme now, but the final 15 stages he does have type advantage. You're never going to see him transform, but even in his base, like, he can be a decent link partner for the LR Goku Black, who, like I said, even though LR Goku Black's a little bit underrated, the final 15 stages are all tech. So you have these guys linked up together in those final 15 stages, and they are going to do very, very well. So then we have this Future 17. So he's one of the ones I mentioned. The only reason I put him on here as an honorable mention is because you could run him as the rotation partner with the future androids, because he does activate, it's like 5 or 6 of their links. So if you are running the tech androids, then this guy can make them look really good, but he's obviously not the best, like, by himself. But you could use him alongside the future androids. Then we have this STR Trunks. So again, he's a super STR unit, so I'm still unsure. He might not be able to do a lot of damage. But even so, he provides 40% support to hybrids, which is what a lot of the team can be made up of. And his defense is really good after he supers, especially if he gets additional supers. So even if he's not doing a lot of damage, he'll be providing support as well as not being a defensive liability. So he is a decent choice as well. And then next up we have this Super Strike Trunks with his Easy A. He's pretty good. The crossover with like Savior's units on Future is not exactly great, but he's just going to be there to provide a little bit of support. Even if he's not really supporting many other people on the team, his Easy A, considering he is just a free-to-play Super Strike unit, he is actually pretty decent. So if you're missing that final unit and you don't know who to bring, he's definitely not the worst choice in the world. So looking back at the category, obviously I didn't cover any of the AGL units because they won't do a lot of damage. LR Future Gohan and Trunks could be useful defensively, help you out, maybe save you with that revival and exchange thing, but obviously they're not going to be able to do a huge amount of damage. I guess technically Vegito could be okay, but obviously no one really thinks about the 5th year LRs anymore. He could be good to like have on rotation with physical Vegito Blue, for example. Trunks and Mai don't have their Easy A yet. They will have their dodge potential available against both Rose and Vegito Blue, but if they don't dodge and they take hits, they will start to take quite a bit of damage. But that's not to say that you couldn't get away with using them. And then, of course, STR Vegito Blue, you could potentially use him. He's not going to have a lot of time to stack, but obviously he's going to get his Easy A fairly soon as well. And then we didn't really talk about physical LR Trunks, but he could actually still be quite useful as well. And as you can see, we covered most of the units here who aren't AGL. Like this Trunks, you know, if AGL's not doing any damage, and that's basically what he's there for, so he's not going to be very useful. Same with the AGL Rose. Mai is a support unit, but obviously she's going to get rocked by Vegito Blue, so you'd have to be very, very careful. The Tech Zamasu, I think he's aged a bit too much to be useful, Tech Merge Zamasu, but if you are running a bunch of the other like Goku Black units, then obviously he could be pretty useful. This Int Super Trunks from, he's a World Tournament card reward, I'm pretty sure. He could be okay against Vegito Blue if you don't have the other Super Trunkses, because remember, you can't use same name units in an EZA. So in that same measure, like this EZA Trunks, this EZA Trunks, this guy, I mean, these aren't like top tier units, but considering the final phases against Tech, you could probably get away with filling in those last spots on your team with a couple of these units. So there you go. That is my top picks and honorable mentions for the STR Rose and Tech Vegito Blue Extreme Z battle. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments section. And like I said, if I missed out any units or there's units you think I should have talked about in more detail, maybe I missed a key aspect of why they would be so good in this stage, let me know down below in the comments section. And as I said as well, you know, if you find the guide helpful at all, do give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.